very nearly missed starting this thing because I was, cleaning because it's always infinitely clean here. Infinitely clean. So I was, just logistics was on. If you're not familiar with logistics, it's pretty great. And putting stuff away, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, it's like 12 o'clock. We should start the thing. Misdirection was doing a job. So I just took off her wheels from the job. Now she's got to put her regular shoes back on because I ran out of time to put this away before. Endlessly clean. We never have stuff. We never have stuff just cluttering up in the way. As I had to point out in the video that she will appear in this weekend, don't forget, Misdirection is not a Capra. She's a little Capra, but she's mostly not Capra. Shocks and cage. That's her only Capra bits. She's all element under there. Builder's kit, either a builder's kit or a gatekeeper. I can't remember. No, it's got to be builder's kit. She's got factory team links, so I also can't do the spin yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there in a minute. Yeah, there we go. That's how she got her name. It's a misdirection. So how's everybody doing on a Friday? I generally make some effort not to record Friday mornings. Friday is that is not that's not great. That is worn sharp. Is that gonna still? Oh, there's a that cheap what is that? 18? That cheap 18 millimeter hub has definitely seen better days. You change it to a brass one if need be. I don't have any alloy ones. AliExpress axles, recovering from working all week. This is not a... Did the pin fall out? Because it's not a... Nope. Ooh. This hub might be done. Do not tell me that I have stripped this out. No, just the bottom of the threads are gone. I don't generally like to use big adapters like this, but I haven't been able to find a wheel. I would need a 2-2 deep, like really deep offset wheel to try to get her any kind of reasonable width to clear these tires. I was working on my own course, but came inside because it's already hotter than the flames of hell. We got some like some clouds blew in and prevented the usual level of temperature murder that it would be outside. It's like 95, but okay. Let's hope I fix that. 95 in the garage. No, and when he says it, he means Mythigan 95. So that means like, I don't know what 200% relative humidity, something like that. I don't really like these adapters with the... We fixed it. Never mind. Anything negative I was going to say about you, adapter, I take it back because we got the thing. I do have, like, other stuff to do, and I should have done this stuff before I got to here, but, you know. Here we are. You could take a set of those carbon 2.2s and bolt the hub to the inside of the face. I've mounted it like that before. I tried that on Zoidberg. It doesn't look good because it's like all hub. I basically want, and these are a little deeper than that. Yeah, basically what I want is I want where the hex goes into the hub. I want that like flush with the inside of the wheel. And I haven't found a combination that will allow me to get to that. Look at that. Fixed. At least, yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're good. Oh, I do need to check the servo horn, though. It came loose. More than once. No, it is loose again. No spoilers. Had adapters like that on a rig I bought used. Could never get them to stay tight. Yeah. I don't know if I can get anything to stay tight. I keep reusing. Well, these use like a washer. I think they need like more of like a proper lock washer to hold them in place. She was fitted with a different type of adapter just a few short hours ago, and they would not stay attached. Period. They came loose while driving. Like 3 times. What a clutter. What a clutter. And it's, you know, it's cloudy, but it's not too cloudy, thankfully. So the swamp cooler's doing its very best. Did you see Endura release the S5 pins in 1.9? Not only did I see it, but I have 2 sets of them. And I've done more than 1 video on them. So, I would say yes. Yes, I have. I have seen that. XHX pins. 99 in Montana. That seems illegal. Did you... Oh! If you're talking about a Class 1 XHX pin, no, I have not. That one I understand even less than the S4, and let's hope and pray that if he is indeed talking about a Class 1 XHX pin, let's hope they learn from their mistake with the S4 pin and they actually make the carcass thin enough to be usable on something like a UTB. Because they're still up here, they're up here, there they are. I have no idea what to use these on. Even with the greens, because there's like, it has to be Class 1 with a hard body, and it would be recklessly heavy. You would need a 10-pound rig to put these on. I would basically rule them out for something like a UTB. Okay, wait. I gotta go now. So, is anyone getting the new Spectrum transmitter? Okay, we'll get into that. Did anyone see Red Cat has a new announcement coming? They have new announcements. It seems like monthly. Can you use a drop of purple thread lock on the servo horn screw? Yeah, you can. The problem is, and this is theoretical. Much like, no, even Cranks on Bicycles doesn't. I can't think of another application where a screw gets loads, equally heavy loads in both directions, both in the tightening direction and the loosening direction. That's why I think screws on servo horns tend to come loose all the time, unless you use enough thread lock to where it's like, well, now I'm in here. I don't know. Also, some horns really come loose more than others, but yeah, I mean, it would definitely make it better. How about that new Spectrum radio? We need a 2-2 pin with an OD of 5+ and an insert need for my straight axles. You could discuss the differences between track width and wheelbase, caster and camera, and how caster and tow and affect each other. There's a lot of misuse and bad information out there. Oh, all right. So we're talking about the what? Am I going to get the letters right? The I. Oh wait, did I do this? We're talking about the IXSR, which let me start off by saying Horizon/Spectrum, they're obviously operating from a different frame than the rest of us are. I look at things here on the channel from a crawler-centric perspective. I don't think that that's who they're aiming at with this radio, which is why it's weird to see the reviews in all of the typical places. RC Driver Online was there reading the outside of the box. Josh was doing his very best to try not to be overwhelmingly negative about that radio, but I think it was slipping through. I think it was coming through. When it came in a foam box alone, he was like, $700 foam box. When I first heard $700, I was like, that has to be some kind of a mistake. That cannot be right. They cannot be trying to peddle a Spectrum. That has to be 700 MSRP, right? And then the actual retail price is going to be like $499. Because even at $499, that radio is a non-starter. It has so much wrong with it. Android integration is not a plus in my mind. It has an open USB-C port on the back. Just open. Not like a rubber plug over it. Not like, whatever you do. Where's my box? I moved things. There we are. Whatever you do, okay, now mind you, this doesn't cost $700. So mind you, if you want to talk about the IXSR at all, they have to pretend that this doesn't exist. This is not a thing. That this doesn't cost $150 and do everything the ISXR does and more. And also, there's your USB-C right in there. And also, because it is Android based, did anyone notice the 10,500 milliamp hour battery? And Harley, in his review, we'll call it a review. He didn't call it a review, but we'll call it a review. In his announcement, his battery was at 73% after 2 hours of on time. Not even use, on time. So I don't believe that for very much of that 2 hours, it was actually doing what is in its name. It wasn't transmitting. It wasn't a transmitter. So 25% of a 10,000 in 2 hours? What are we doing? I can get, on an RC4, I can get 6 months out of a 3800. But you can't get your email on an MT12. Dang it! Also, good. You know what I don't need in my life? Another device that I can get email on. Harley said it in his. Can't we just have a radio? Like, yes, I 100% agree. That Spectrum radio is like a fancy cod piece for dudes that want to flex. For $700, that radio must be plated in gold. The $700 price tag puts it at the exact same price as a Futaba, 7PX or 10PX? I don't remember. Either one. Still. If you've got Spectrum in one hand and Futaba in the other, come on. It's absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Don't forget to not get it wet. Oh, great. Not waterproof. That's awesome. That transmitter is like a poor functioning tablet that can drive a rig. Oh, we can't forget to mention the startup time. Like a minute. Like legitimately a minute. Okay, so this isn't a fair comparison, so we'll count 1, 2. Oh, looks like we could go as far as like 3 seconds. Would we say that's about 3 seconds to turn that on? So let's see something a little more like. Also, here's another one that Spectrum has to pretend doesn't exist if they want to sell their $700 radio. So let's see. Holding the button, and you know what? There's no battery in this. Ha ha ha! I tricked you all, including myself. I stole the battery from another radio. I was going outside to film a video, and the battery was dead. And I was like, Argenum's not driving today. I'm just gonna steal his battery. That was like, he ran first week of Crawlympics. There hasn't been a battery in this since first week of Crawlympics, so there hasn't been a battery here like 6 weeks. That's awesome. Hey, I am nothing if not consistent. I'm desperately trying not to get the wire stuck in the door. Just buy an MT12 and tape an Android phone to it. Yeah, for the $700, you could buy a phone and a plan, but can it run Doom? If you can run Doom on something you built in Minecraft out of redstone, okay. So when we see the first flash, 1, 2. Oh no! So honestly, I mean, we can put a certain amount of blame on the Android system itself, but this, like, do we need all this? No, nobody needs all this stuff. That's why. That's my dig. I do like that dig. Wait, where's my favorite one where she talks?
One open, one mixing, one close.
I don't understand what they did. The Radiolink RC8 evidently has bad latency issues, which Radiolink won't address and says it's user error. It's a shame they won't fix their flagship radio. Yeah, I wouldn't know. For my Go Fast stuff is on the MT12, which shouldn't have any issue with any sort of latency. Also, it takes like 30 seconds to turn the IXSR off, whereas this one takes like 2 seconds to turn off. So, in the olden times, folks who've been around a while will be suitably jealous. In the olden times, this is what I used for everything Go Fast. Aerotronics Sanwa MT4, one of my favorite radios of all time, and even in our current area, still a fantastic 4-wheel steer option. Oh wait, that's right, you absolutely can't buy these anymore. This is a shame. This is a shame. What a great radio, because it had all, see the 2 little screws right there? This is trigger adjustment and this is wheel tension. All of the things that used to just be standard on a radio, this is the antenna, which is also a handle, like lanyard, separate lanyard loop, all of the great things, and we've lost almost all of the great things. Like I try to reinforce, I've never said that the Radiolink RC4, RC6 is the best radio in the world, but at its price point, I mean, I can't find anything competitive. Great battery life, it does the job. Does it have latency? I don't know. If I was going to do speed runs, I wouldn't be doing speed runs with my $1,000 rig and a $50 radio. Bad thing is the RC8 horrible battery life, and the screen is nearly unreadable outside in the sun. That's any color screen. That's why, I mean, give me the old original Game Boy screens on the Radiolinks, because that's just contrast. It's black on that gold-ish background, like an LCD, and you can just read it. It doesn't matter how bright it is. It doesn't need a backlight. It has a backlight, but it doesn't need it. What kind of life on it? But what kind of life on it? 6 hours? Oh, on the RC8? Yeah, I would say probably around the same battery life that the IXSR people are expecting, but I'm running like a 2800. So, so in reality, 4 times the battery life of an IXSR, theoretically. Yeah, just joining about the new Spectrum, yeah. How many channels do you all actually use on a radio? On average, I would say 4. I would say 4 here is the average. And with RC4s, I'm always sacrificing channel 3 for cruise control. So I'm going to use 3. Every rig here is using a minimum of 3. We have a number. If you're driving a Phoenix, you can get up to 7, 8 channels, no problem. Steering, throttle, cruise control, dig, overdrive, selectable overdrive. You could throw a winch on there. You could throw a lighting controller or something on there. It's not that hard to get up to 7, 8 channels. Oh, diff locks. Yeah, Tranquish is maxed out. He uses all 7 to the point where he can't have cruise control because he's using all 7 because he has diff locks as well. The only thing I want in my radio is water resistant and protection when it falls down on the rocks. Yeah, we need like a Zorb, you know, the bubble. We just put our hand inside the bubble. Like dudes can get those mitts for where when they drive in places where it's super, super cold. They put the radio inside the mitt, and then they drive in the mitt. We need that, but just foamy. Or we can all start going back to using lanyards so we'd stop dropping our radios. Because, like, even, I just had it out here, even Baseline's radio, you see a little white crusty there. He no longer has rotatable antenna. Yeah, I dropped it straight, bank, like that. Went to set it down on the bucket chair, missed, and it went straight down on the antenna. So, I mean, like I say, it's not perfect, but it's like $60. We need, Gare says, Spec says we need DX5 rugged but good. We need to have, we need Radio Link to make a crawler specific. We need anybody. I just wish Radio Link would do it. We need somebody to build a crawler specific radio. So, no external antenna. Definitely more than one place to mount a phone or a camera. A place to put a lanyard or even just a wrist strap would be great, so that we just can't. Like, hit me up on the and ask me what I need in a radio, and I'll let you know. Am I the only one that keeps things so very simple? Well, Anna, most rigs, all of the ones that are sitting right over here, have throttle, steering, and cruise control, and that's it. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 across the thing. But I would rather have 2 channels that I don't use than be running 3 channels on 3-channel radios all day. Lee Jordan got his first RC4GS, cut the sides off of a 3-cell 18650 tray. I tried that. Like all the way off? All the way up, because I think they're in here. Do I replace foam wheels a lot? There's only one correct answer. Okay, so if you're... Do I have a loose one? If your 3-cell tray looks like this... Oh, Mr. Massey, that's why we need Radio Link to do it. Because then nobody will be able to clone them. I love a Radio Link. I love an RC4, RC6. There's a good old RC6 sitting right over here. I love because they're selling that at a point where they can't be undercut. Like, nobody is going to be able to run out and make that for less and sell that for less. So, and it's also, man, what was the IXSR? 700 grams? 700 grams. This has a dual 18650 in it. So weights will vary depending on your battery pack. Hey, 444. I don't want a radio that's effectively twice as heavy as this. Yes, I know that would be 888 and it's 700. I don't want to get that deep into the percentages. It's my show, and I choose not to do math. I try to find other people to do math for me. Yeah, because I tried to get this thing to fit, and I didn't think to cut it way over and cut the sides completely off. Do I have one on the loose? I guess I'll just pull the battery out of... Yeah. So if it'll fit 3 cells, that's quite a bit more runtime. And from our recent go-round, I can afford to put 3 cells in a couple of radios right now. We've got a little bit of future proofing on us right now. I just meant it'll speed up the mass creation one if there's something out there to get clone quick. Yeah, that'd be great. AliExpress has some great combo deals on the Radio Link. When I was looking on whatever they were, whatever that little sale thing they had going on, AliExpress days or whatever it was, like we have Prime Days coming up, everything was limit 1 per customer, and it really soured me on the whole process pretty quickly. It was like, yeah, you can get a receiver for $2, but you can only buy 1. You can get a radio for like $10 less than what you'd pay on Amazon. And I just rewind my brain back to, we'll say it's the 1990s, and we'd say this, so, oh, there we go. So it'd be like, you've got this radio and you've got this radio. This one's $50, and this one's $60, and you can have it in 5 hours. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to pay the extra $10. So that's why I tend to just chip for the Amazon money. Same for the motors. I know I can get the Rhino motors cheaper from AliExpress, and then wait. It's about 2 weeks on average to me. Sometimes 10 days. I want the thing now. The spark axles make dig obsolete. I'm going to disagree with that with all of my heart. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What model transmitter do you usually use? William, Radiolink RC4 is the most common. If I know that I'm going to need more channels, or if I'm using something like a TRX4 or a Phoenix particularly, then it is an RC6. The only difference between the two is this one is silver, the RC4 is black, and it has these 2 little 3-position guys. These are fantastic for either the switchable overdrive or lockers, if you're doing lockers, and otherwise their functionality is all the same. 4-wheel steer, I convert the VR knob to a second knob to do 4-wheel steer. I use them for pretty much everything. They can fit a giant battery. I use those Gens 8 3800s, which, as I said, will run about 6 months. And it is Futaba spline on the wheels, so you can put Futaba steering wheels on them. And that's the expensive one that's like $80. Have you ordered your... They got me once, man. Okay, here, let me put it to you this way. If Vanquish had made the TOF announcement before releasing the H10, I might have considered it. But I know I would, without question, 100%, I would get an H10 optic. Because it's the only thing I don't want. If I had gotten anything other than a Falcon Phoenix last time around, I would consider it. There'd be a little bit in consideration. But now that the H10 no, there's absolutely no chance. I would just be throwing my money away. Four-wheel steer is incorporated in programming and mixing on a lot of radios. Yeah, but that's garbage. I don't want it. Because there's a full manual control is the only way to drive four-wheel steer. I don't want mixing at all. The only time I would use mixing is if I were trailing exclusively, and I would set it to like 20% rear mix, just so you get that nice, easier, smoother navigation. But on a rock, no, I want complete control of the rear axle at all times. I don't want crab mode. I don't want four-wheel steer. I don't want independent. I don't want any of that. So I'm guessing you've already talked about the new Spectrum IXSR. I don't need my radio to be a cell phone or a tablet. I also don't want to wait almost a full minute for it to boot up. I don't want to wait. My phone doesn't take a full minute to boot up. This computer that we're recording on right now takes about 20 seconds. And it's an entire computer. I don't know how they could make a radio take a minute to boot up, but apparently here we are. Ever see my rebuild chassis today? What cream of the crop components do you say? Straighter portals, dig or no? When I build mine, I am most likely going to do straight axles, and I haven't decided on dig or not. I might go to try to keep it real low, but what's the last thing we built with dig? We haven't built anything with dig in a while, so might have to put some dig in it. I'd love to see a tank. Gotta have, yeah, Sfax is 100% correct. Gotta have manual four-wheel steer or nothing. Because four-wheel steer is like tricky traps. You don't even notice that, like, you're doing the wrong stuff all the time. I'm speaking entirely for myself here. But the amount of four-wheel steer that you so let's pretend that that's the front and this is the back. This is the amount of four-wheel steer we're usually talking about. Like about that much. Very, very rarely are we doing that. We're doing like, oh, I hate this servo. You're getting like 10, 15 degrees of steer angle. So, yeah. And I know you can set it to limit in mixing, but I don't want the computer taking over that. Well, also, apparently the IXSR won't even do four-wheel steer properly. You can't switch on the fly. You can't assign the mix mode to a button so that you can select the mix mode. So it's non-automatic. I want four-wheel steer when I want it only. Correct. Tanks are bad at rock crawling. Anything with tracks is really bad at it. What percentage of the market would be available to make the I understand, but what percentage of the market would be available to make the manufacturer money? For some reason, the new Spectrum just reminds me of those tablets you get back in the day that were so slow they were unusable. Galaxy S3 tablet. Oh, well, someone will find out. Someone will let us know what Android version it's running on. So are you going to do a full SCX Pro to VRD comp straight portal to portal? No, God, no. I'm not buying $170 axial axles. And there's no way I'm putting money into the VRD straight axle kit if the rumors prove to be true, which proves to be that it's just a DIY this on straight axles. Because in the pictures, it definitely looks like alloy rails instead of carbon, which means it's going to have the same exact gearbox as this with all of the centered gears in it. And who knows how much longer we're even going to get the VRD carbon with all of the upgrade bits and the carbon rails and the nicer link, the non-razor thin links. It's going to be that. The VS410 Builders Kit is, from so far as I can tell, a do-it-yourself Fordyce without a body and wheels and tires. And the VRD straight, what do they call it? The VRD Builders Kit is going to be a DIY stance without electronics, wheels, tires, body. So, I mean, a kit, yeah, by definition, a kit, but, it's going to have these same shocks instead of the upgraded shocks. There was a time when kit meant you got better stuff. So unless they're going to do Vanquish Factory or Vanquish Team kits with the hop-up parts, I genuinely don't see the point. If it's just an RTR that you put together yourself, the price point is going to have to be far lower than Vanquish is going to set them at. I see the straight axle version of this being at like what? What's everybody kind of agree on? $279? A Phoenix kit is $399 with a body, wheels and tires. They're going to have to do some real surprises to me. Just joined stream. Thanks again for the blazer. Hey! Imagine how slow that Spectrum will boot when you never clear the Are you saying a $700 radio will make Spectrum more money than a $90 radio with a dedicated 4-wheel steer wheel? Well, I mean, well, that's a big. That's making a big bet by Spectrum, because then you're talking about cachet. You're definitely marketing to a specific segment, because you're going to sell a whole lot more $90 radios than you are $70 radios. It's not even going to be close to proportionate. It's not like you're going to sell 8 $90 radios for every one $700 radio. It's probably in the ratio of more like 30 to 1. Now, their margin is going to be a lot tighter, but I don't think that by any measure RadioLink is a company of the size of Horizon. Horizon is also, but what we should also point out, not a manufacturer. They don't make things. They put their name on things, and they license things. So RadioLink is going to have a better margin from the get-go because, well, I mean, that's not true. What are they? It's I always get it wrong. They're either Dumbos or the other one. Is it Dumbo RC? Is Dumbo RC the actual OE behind RadioLinks? Okay, that might be it. I wonder if Spectrum could make a wheel that would swap to that removable spot where the buttons and 3-position switch are, make it modular. They could have thought to do that in the design phase, but I don't think they've, like M2 Tool Radio Master thought of that. How there's the little changeable pieces on the front, you can put the little joystick down at the bottom. They definitely thought ahead. I don't think that whoever did the design for the IXSR did a lot of forward thinking. It's a ploy to sell more of their Pro line at the lower price with it having a better profit margin. Yes, Dumbo is reeling. So yeah, it's anything to increase the bottom line, anything to pad your margin, because a lot of companies do run at fairly tight margins. And there's not, the market will only bear a certain price. We have to take all aspects of logistics into account. So I don't think, I don't want to be too general. In the RC realm and in the subsection of the sub-realm that encompasses rock crawling, which is a small tidal pool inside a bigger ocean, I don't think anyone is out there just to outright try to swindle us. I've done some business in the past. I know how bottom lines work. And I know that this servo behaves almost like it's locked up. It has like a dead point in the middle. But it is my contention that servo is just S614, Reedy 1523, and it's the same thing. It's a different servo, but it's the same thing. All those builders' kits come with centered gears. So far as I know, yeah. I mean, you've already got your wallet out buying that 5B. I saw a guy spend $1,800 in one drop on an X-Max at the hobby shop. He went full Traxxas, like the monstrous Traxxas. What do they call theirs? ID Link? TQ Link, Smart TQ, TQ Smart ID Link. The big Traxxas batteries, the like 8000s or whatever, 2 of them, and the Traxxas charger and the module for the radio, and then a set of tires for it. $1,800. So perhaps we protesteth too much because maybe $700 isn't a lot to everybody. No, come on. $700 for a radio is a lot. It's a lot. I don't own a Futaba insert number PX for a reason, which is I don't need it. I don't need it. Virtually everything I do can be handled by an RC4 or an RC6. If it can't, I've got an MT12 right down there under the bench. I don't see myself at any point in the near or far future falling into the market for a $700 radio. Like, $700 is probably where a lot of builds end up coming out. And that's all inclusive. $1,800 X-Max screams new to the hobby. Yeah. But I did a bunch of tuning work. We did a video or two on it. A guy had just bought a Honcho because he liked the body. There it is. I mean, you got to get that. You got to make that effort to hook that new guy before he knows, right? Which is why the market, the way they're trying to control the market, is wrong. It's not. It doesn't work. Guys don't know. The new guy doesn't know the difference about the stuff in it. He just cares what it looks like. Which is why I think that the shot fired outside of their target zone, right? We would like to think that we are Vanquish's target zone, but we are not. Vanquish is like a cell phone carrier now. It's new blood or no blood because we're already in it and we build things from scratch and they don't want us. They want somebody who is ready, willing, and able to just pop up, drop $700 on a radio for their $500 RTR, and then put $1,000 into the RTR. So, I mean, I set soft budgets for builds. Nothing is written in stone. Things cost what they cost. And if the thing needs more TLC and more parts given to it, then we do that over time. If I can't do it all at once, so be it. But I'm also not in the. It's why I could never bring myself to buy an Ultra, a Pro or an Ultra, and then I waited too long, and by the time I stopped waiting, they discontinued them. My cross is going with a Dumbo DDF 350. I mean, you might be absolutely fine with it. I just, functionally, I had less problems with it than I did ergonomically. And ergonomics are very individual. I didn't like the way the radio felt, and I still get a comment. I was going to say about once a week. Well, let's round down. Say I get a comment about every 10 days where someone tries to tell me the ways that I'm wrong. And I'm like, how can you tell me that the way that radio... Okay, so I've handled these so much. I have banana hands. You see this amount of space down here? That's a critical thing. Do you see that my giant thumb will fit up in there? That is a critical thing as well. Do you see that it's 444 grams? There's enough of a balance. I feel like there are a lot of people out there that they spend enough time with a radio in their hands to maybe, follow me here, potentially, this is a distinct possibility, maybe they know what they're talking about. I don't know. You know what I could do? I could read off the side of the box. I've got a Radio Link box right down here under the bench. Anybody want to hear me read the side of it? I don't. I just put all these zip ties on and now I'm cutting them off. Well, I put them on during the head-to-head. How much would you need to build a super capable rig? Depends on what you mean by super capable. That's not a cop-out either. Like, what capability are you looking for? What platform do you want to start with? Do you want it to have premier parts, or do you want it to be built like performance on a budget? Like, you know, the sky is the sky is the proverbial limit. They do what they tell you. You do what they tell you. Well, you know what? I will rage against that machine. It is almost scrolled off. What does the Creeper T transmission look like? Can you link? I can walk over here and grab it. The only rig I can think... I've got more than one. Oh, Diablo! He's closer. Yeah. Oh, this one's easier to see, too, because he's red. The other one is mounted in Zorana, and it's black. So this is when you go on Amazon and you get the $45. Oh, we're going in early. So you go on Amazon and you spend your $45 and you get this FMM, and this is the clone Creeper T gearbox, or, well, transfer case, really. 30% in there. It's pretty nicely put together. Uses standard bolt pattern, 4-bolt, the 2 wide, 2 narrow of, you know, Stealth X, any 3-gear bolt pattern, let's call it that. And it's great. The only problem is, depending on what build you try to put it in, this. I would love to have this T case further forward, like way up here, put it out on a skid. But then you've got to try to find, I had to cut this drive shaft down as far as I could just to get it to fit into this orientation. So that's why his T case is way back there like that. But yeah, these are great. I don't tend to like 30%. So in general, what I will do is put an 827 in the rear to give me about 20%. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, toothless. I don't feel shafted. If the price was over $329, I'd be more upset. Wait, what did I miss? Junkbot is super capable. I don't know about that. I once left that Rage CD in my car when my mom had to use it for something. She was very angry when she got home because she didn't know how to turn it off. Too many F-bombs, I guess. I mean, that happens. That'll happen. Class 2, 5 to 700. Class 3, 6 to 800. Shafty, 6 to 1300. Motor on axle, 1000 to 2500. I mean, that seems fair. That seems fair. X-Max is 1K all day, every day. Yeah, well, okay. Let me see. I gotta find Chrome over here. Traxxas LiPo battery. I don't know. I've never tried, so I have no idea how much they cost. Okay, so the Traxxas 6700 4S are $140 a piece. So that would be $280 for 2 batteries. $280. Truthfully, the only thing cheap in those kits are the center diff gears. Remember the Phoenix, it was a bonus to get the good gears. Yes, but, gears, the Phoenix still comes with machine gears in the axles, and the Stance and the new kits both do not. And I don't consider those gears to be optional. And then one would say, well, most everybody else is still, like Traxxas still has sintered gears, and it's like, yeah, giant, straight cut, virtually impossible to break. Yeah. And I mean, now you can, there's one right over here. You can throw some cheap AMK gears in there. And then what have you done? You've bought your kit, and what do you have to do? You have to replace parts in the kit before you've even built the kit. And that is not successful to me. To me, it's just me. $140 for a battery. So how's the carnage on your rigs from the Crawl Olympics? It's not too bad. Jake's tire really kind of got the worst of it. He was an easy fix. Most people, it's just stuff coming loose. And I think that there have been some injuries sustained that time will tell. Time will indeed tell. Like Yella made some terrible sounds. Made some terrible sounds. Oh, well, we don't know. We have no idea. Until we see the kits, we don't know if it's links or these coffee stirrers. Because I can make a 4mm link out of cheap stainless that I ordered on Amazon. I can literally make that link right there for about 60 cents. Made. Like retail price paid. I can make a link for about 60 cents. So they've got some work. Yeah. Traxxas battery and the big, whatever the Traxxas like charges 2 batteries at a time. Let me look at that now. Now I have to know. LiPo charger. Which is still going to be slow. It definitely wasn't the $60. Okay, there's the 100-watt one that's $120. There's a $170 one. The Easy Peak Live Dual. It must have been that one. So $170 for the charger, $280 for the batteries. That's what, $450? Would have been about $1,100, $1,550. Oh, and he bought tires. Proline tires. There you go. That's $1,800. So he didn't get fleeced, he got retailed. That dude just walked in and paid retail for everything. Hey, Andre, 5 more. The sawtooth retains its sawtooth shape. Oh, Andre's having an early day. I mean, you got to go to bed sometime. Yeah, Sigmund, yeah. Okay, Dan, 100% right. Dan just hit on something that we should definitely pay attention to. That's not a Traxxas thing. That's a kind of an industry thing. A Spectrum charger to charge Spectrum batteries, and Spectrum batteries are going to be just as bad. Let's change Traxxas to Spectrum. The Spectrum RC S2100 G2 AC Smart Charger is $180. But they also have a 2x200 watt that is $279. $279. So the 2x100 is $179. I have a 4x100 that was $250. And that's my big one. You get a Gens Ace IMARS for like $80. Do 2x100. Even the first builder's kits came with TI links. 100. That is correct. There are adapters to charge a Traxxas battery on a standard balance charger, but Traxxas batteries still aren't worth it. Yeah. You got to think back in the days. Who here remembers... what were they called? I don't remember, so somebody needs to remember for me. They made the most expensive LiPo batteries. They were like I want to say somewhere in the middle of America, and you could order their batteries like they would always have a full page spread in RC Car Action. What were they called? They were the most expensive batteries. I remember $300 LiPo batteries. $300 for one pack. Dustin bought all the wrong stuff. Listen, Dustin, I bought a Wendigo. My first aftermarket radio that I bought when I got into crawling was a Spectrum. Because I didn't have any, I didn't know who to watch or what reviews to trust, and now I know not to trust most of them, particularly if they start reading the box. You know, what a time to be alive. No, not Venom. Not Venom. They just like exclusively did batteries. If the blind benefactor was here, he would remember. His brain, despite the lemon-sized part of his brain that's missing, he would remember, because he remembers stuff like this. If you had a 10.3 trans and a TRX4 trans, which one would you prefer to use? TRX4 by a lot. TRX4 trans is an LCG gearbox. Look how small the gears are. It has a proper transfer case. It is a married transfer case, but it has a proper transfer case at the back. It is not horrifically overcomplicated. The solitary drawback to the TRX4 gearbox is that it is Traxxas, which means it only wants Traxxas drive shafts. It can only run an offset pumpkin front axle, and realistically, in the C channel, it really only wants TRX4 axles. They basically built a proprietary gearbox to go to proprietary axles, but you know what? They can't stop us. We do what we want. So. It was not Thunder Power. I might yell it aloud if my brain remembers it. Protec and you know what? Hold on. Let me see if I can find one. I gotta go over here to the trusty old filing cabinet. I gotta remember what drawer of the trusty old filing cabinet the magazines are in. Let's find an RC car action from like 15 years ago. That's right, everybody. RC car action, January 2011. Novak Kinetic on there. The new Traxxas Rally. Ooh, the pages are, ooh, wait. It's got the old smell. It's got the old smell, and this is also, these are stored in the same drawer that has the Marvel Mystery Oil in it. I wish we had Smell-O-Vision because this magazine smells amazing. That's how old Valinion. I almost said Lavinion. That's how old Valinion is, folks. We're going back 13 years. The pages are not sticky. The pages just have a real distinct, like, it sounds like somebody just got a brand new lawnmower. B44.1 team, what are they up to now? The XTM rail, that's still around. You can still buy an XTM rail, right? They have to have an ad in here. Otherwise, Super Brain chargers from MRC. I'm going to lose my mind if it's not in here. You sit there. Oh, look. SC80. So good. Oh, those were the days. I use the Amazon adapters because all my TRX4s have Fusion Pros installed as long as I can find batteries cheap, used, or get them free. Spent months researching before they started buying stuff and are able to avoid costly mistakes. That's what we're here for. That mystery oil is preventing that magazine from molding over and maybe living in the desert. Yes, the desert. I think the desert and the mystery oil are definitely combining forces. ProTech, Robinson Racing ad, ZD Racing. Come on. Little Spectrum DX3 action. Their new radios still look exactly like that. That one probably actually worked, right? Since we all hate the new Vanquish kits and no one else is making kits, maybe Red's Cat big announcement is in his scent kit. Woo! Ooh, GPM aluminum hop-ups. Look at that. Okay, so whenever we think that the world has gone completely mad, we get a focus on there. Futaba 4PKS, just coming out. 5 bones, baby. 5 bones in 2011. Woo! That makes the IXSR seem reasonable at 7 hundo. But, you know, every radio back then was expensive. LRP Pulsar Touch. Is that a single channel or a dual channel? Single channel, $280. Max amps! That's it! Good! He got there before I did. Max amps! Oh. Look at this. Look how early this guy was to the game. Holy crap! Look at his crawler course that... Who was building this? Oh, it's not an actual guy. Crawling course in 2011. I'm jealous. 2011? I didn't think about a rock crawler, period, until I saw the TRX-4 for the first time. And then it only took me about 3 years to buy one. North Pole, Alaska loves Mr. Oil and digs the Canon. Hey. What crawlers were there in 2011? Not many. And certainly not me, so I couldn't tell you. That LRP charger didn't have balance capability. Non-balance charger. How tight? Tight. We're just killing a stance, you know. Killing a stance. As soon as you said the most expensive batteries back in the day, I instantly remembered the batteries with the flames, but couldn't think of the name. I remember, this is in the Slash days, so this would have been even pre-2011. They had a 2S, like, 9,000 pack, and it was like $350. And at the time, we just remembered staring at the pages of RC Car Action and going, okay, we're running Hobby People 5,000 packs that cost like $40. Why wouldn't you just buy, like, for that money, you could buy like 7 of these and just drive for months. Never, but Max amps I always felt were like the ultimate in snake oil salesmen. Like, they were like, oh, we only have the finest graded matched cells and the this and the gigaws and the hee-haws and the jib-jabs, and I'm like, you guys are selling to somebody else. Somewhere out there's a guy that's like, that's the gigaws I need. That's what I need. They were overinflating C ratings on batteries back then, and that tradition continues strong as ever. So the 10-1 dates back to 2008, and the Scorpion came out in 2007. Yeah, there had to be something back there. Panther Cougars are from 2007. Even G8 Compound goes back to, like, what, what did I say? How old are original non-XL flat irons? They were like 2011, something like that. It was beginning in earnest at that time, but and this isn't even an unpopular opinion. This is just a statement. I guess the industry was waiting for Traxxas to start doing it. I see one review of the SCX10 from 2010. Yeah. Once Traxxas did it and put their Traxxas stank on it, there you go. You can still buy a 1989 Traxxas Bandit with the white plastic and the Phillips head hardware. RC Sparks was sponsored by Max Amps back in the day. They've got to be gone now, right? Like, there's no... Max Amps is not a thing anymore. I don't trust myself. Max Amps. Oh, no, they're still around. They are still around. Established in 2004, you can get a 6S 11,000 from Max Amps. Oh, there they are. Oh, grade A sells. Grade A rated. How about just show me a store page? Oh, they make packs up to 18S now. 18S. So let's just look at a 3S. Okay. I don't specifically know what these batteries are for. I don't claim that I know anything outside of what I actually know, and with each passing day, I feel like I know less. I have to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Actually, page 2. Where can we get just like a pack that we would run? Okay, there you go. Max Amps is still very, very, very much Max Amps. A Max Amps LiPo 2375, which is this little fellow right here. 11. Oh, we'll try it. We'll try it. Cam 2 is a little better at this kind of stuff. So, $79 for a 2375 3S. Made in the US from all the best sells. But, wait on board with me. If I were to ask you a rhetorical question, and that would be, what do you think the largest capacity 3S battery Max Amps makes is? No matter what number you guessed, it wouldn't be high enough. From my searching, the largest 3S battery pack sold by Max Amps is a 93,000 that costs $1,300 and has 1,032 watt hours. 1,000 watt hours. Yeah. 93,000. I get it. What does it weigh? Oh, you only have it. Here are your choices of battery connectors. It weighs 5,000 grams. 5,000 grams for the 93,000 mAh 3S battery. And as I said, they have batteries up to 18S. Max Amps be wild. Palle Peterson has arrived. I remember seeing 8,000. Yeah, I remember seeing, yeah. I was going to say, no matter what the guess is, no one is going to guess 93,000. Now I only looked at 3S. Now I got to go back. Okay. LiPo batteries. So what's the biggest 6S pack they make? They also make a 93,000 6S, which is obviously 2,000. And I'm assuming twice as heavy. So what are these for? Somebody's got to know what these massive battery packs are for, because they're not for typical RC stuff. Like a 93,000 battery would make that Spectrum radio last at least 10 hours. At least. If you have a proprietary connector and can't solder, just get some adapters and you can cut your battery costs in half. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, on that 93,000 for a mere $40, you can make it a hard case. And honestly, your semi-facetious a mere $40. Well, yeah, when the battery's $1,300. Oh, what was the cost of the 6S all the way up? A 6S 93,000 is $2,634. But then for, I don't know what NMC means. We gotta look up NMC, because they make a more expensive battery. They have an 81,000 6S3P 22.2 volt NMC battery. I don't know what NMC means. It has a lifetime warranty, and it costs $3,000. Yeah. It's stuck to the magnets. $3,000 battery, everybody. Yet, on some level, on some small level, to me, a $3,000 battery seems less ridiculous than a $700 Spectrum radio. I hardwired that in there. They have an 18S 93,000 for $8,000. Looking at Mias CF rails like you used on the SES10 Pro, Mias portals and skid, what compact style transmission would you recommend? I would either do the Creeper T FMM, like, where is he? He's right here. Like this, either this style like this, or I would probably go with an OD3. Either one. Something low. Keep your weight low, because the 10 Pro doesn't keep weight low enough. NMC is nickel, manganese, cobalt. Ooh, a large aggro drone. Like an aggressive drone? How aggressive? Does it fight people? I don't know what they use drones for in agriculture. When is Canyon getting a lake to test boats? We do need a lake. We need a lake. I still want to build a waterfall, but I haven't seen my neighbor in 3 months. I do have his phone number, but I'm not that type that would reach out and ask, because the way I figure it is either something good has happened or something bad has happened. And I don't want to get in the middle of either. So if he's on vacation, awesome. If he's retired, awesome. If something terrible has transpired in his life or the lives of those around him, I don't know how to talk to other people. I don't want to get involved. So I'm just gonna, that's me in the corner. They spray crops with drones. All right. This is the future. This is the future. A 21-foot wingspan with a C-set. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. Why is that name? Am I conflating names in my head? I'm just going to keep taking stuff apart. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Oh, yeah, good old stance. Well, they couldn't even chip for the aluminum slipper eliminator. They give a plastic one. To go with the plastic motor plate and the plastic motor standoffs and the plastic on the plastic. Tyler Perry, the Medea movie guy. All right. That is the Tyler Perry I was thinking of. You could build a drift car mystery, and I think you'd be really good at Setting up suspensions and transmissions. I still want to, all I need is to find or fabricate a place to drive my drift car. It's really fun. It's really fun, and I get it, but there's essentially nowhere to drive it around here. Tyler Perry, Medea loves RC planes. You might set out on any given day to learn something. You might set out actively trying not to learn anything. And the day that the thing I unintentionally learned today is that Medea loves planes. Who would have known? And he has a plane house? Well, let me tell you something. Look what you're doing. You're contributing to my delinquency because, isn't the singer from Journey Joe Perry? Wait. Is Joe Keery the kid from Stranger Things? Steve Perry is from Journey. Joe Keery is from Stranger Things. Tyler Perry is Medea. With a tank at the canyon, you can shoot at cars on the rocks. I mean, I would. He has 2 huge hangars and a runway in his yard. All right. You know what? You go, Medea. Oh, yes. Why am I gutting a stance? Yeah, I got it before you got it, Steve Perry. So, Joe Perry is Aerosmith. There is a Joe Perry. I tell people, I've put it in giant red print, and I said, don't buy a stance. That's a stance. Its body is right over here. I said, don't buy a stance. The gentleman who bought this bought it before he discovered the canyon. He had not heard me scream and kick and gnash teeth about not buying stances. So here we've got lightened. These are the front gears. These are the back gears. If you're doing math in your head, Perry the platypus, do some math in your head. So front gears, back gears, motor plate, portal weights, stubby kit, Rhino S20 2220, Rhino V80, AGFRC 81 CHL. That is the 50 kg. It's a 50 kg there. Drive shafts. We've got some cut to lengthers in here with that, and then we've buried the lead yet again. We've got some hardcore RC here. Here's some links, and those links accompany. These are the hardcore RC skid forward rails for stance / VRD, which move the skid forward 20 millimeters. So this is 20 millimeter forward. So this is going to be a whole different thing. We can do this. See, when we talk about change in geo, let's talk about change in geo. Like, there is the stock front link mounting position. There's the front link mount position there. That is. Whew, there's the. Is that the motor mount one? Yeah. Yeah, that's forward. That's forward. So they have little colored flags on them. I'll get that confused. I'll get that confused for sure. How far I get into this, That's a really heavy box. How far we get into this? I don't know. I'm just, I'm keeping my hands from being idle. That is going to be awesome now. Don't buy a stance. Don't buy a stance. Even if you want to do, here's the deal. Listen, come in close. I want to do the Jordan guy. Come on. Come closer. And then the camera go, zooms. Even if you want to do this, say you want to do this and have to change all the pieces and spend that money. If you buy a VRD carbon, you can sell your carbon rails for money. People will buy them. So, you know what these are good for? No, that's not a rhetorical question. That's a legitimate. What are these good for? How much does all the parts to build a Phoenix straight axle cost starting with a VS410 kit? So like starting with the VS410 chassis kit? Or you want to put Phoenix straight axles onto you've bought a Phoenix portal kit and you want straight axles on it instead. Is that the question? I'm going to need a more declarative. Have we done thoughts on the VRD Builders kit for $289? Overpriced. As long as you can still buy a carbon, I would say 100% buy a carbon. If the carbon gets revamped and they turn the carbon into a build it yourself stance with no hopped up parts, then they're done. They're done for me. The Phoenix will be the last Vanquish build here if this is how it keeps going. Because, like, what's the point? I will make efforts to no. Just what are they replacing the old $379 kit with? So far as I know, they brought back the Phoenix portal kit. They just didn't bring back the Phoenix straight axle kit. If you were trying to build Phoenix axles on your own, grotesquely expensive, like unthinkably expensive. You can get housings pretty cheap, and you don't have to use Vanquish parts. Yeah, so honestly, maybe not that expensive, because an F10 is an offset AR-44. So when I built the Mullet, the only Vanquish parts I used, period, on that were I bought a plastic axle housing and I bought the Vanquish universals. Somebody needs to knock off the Vanquish universals so we don't have to buy the Vanquish branded ones because they're about $45. But then other than that, you can buy cheap bearings. I buy them by the tube. You buy cheap ring and pinion, cheap bearings. You can source the entirety of a Vanquish an F10 straight axle off of Amazon. The only Vanquish parts you need are the plastic housings and the universals for the front. The rear axle is just an AR-44. It's just, pretend that this isn't a portal, right? This is just an AR-44. It uses AR-44 shafts. Or, where are they? You can go on AliExpress, and they're selling, I know they have them on Amazon as well. They're selling full alloy housed axles for $200 on Amazon, front and rear. And they've cloned them to the point where, it's identical to Vanquish Knuckles. Like, that's an F10T. It doesn't look like it. It is an F10T. Will it have the same durability and the guarantee of the same level of fitment? Well, no. You can't guarantee that. The axles cost less than half of what it will cost for Vanquish. I have AR-45 straights on my Junkyard Phoenix. Yeah, you could do 10 Pro as well. 10 Pro axles, AR-45s, F10s, dimensionally are all interchangeable. Not parts interchangeable, dimensionally interchangeable. Well, they're about the same width. The axles, the link mounting points will be very close across all three. I see guys selling used F10s for like $300, which is absolutely wild. Okay, so this is what I needed to check because my investigation inside the stance isn't. I have not really gotten inside of a stance before. This is the loaner that was dropped off for the Versus stuff, and we don't need to do that anymore. We can turn it into this thing, and then we can compare this thing against other things. Because the more I thought about it, the more I'm not just comfortable, but embracing the idea of no two alike. I prefer a notion of no two alike. So we'll have a mullet. We'll have the 10 Pro in whatever form it ends up as. We will have the Phoenix, which is my version of a BRD. Then we've got Zoku Phoenixes, which are, I mean, uncomfortably close. Hey, bouncing noise. Okay, so what are the gears in here? Well, that's nice. Ooh, they do not, they are stingy with the grease. So we've got a 32. It's the only one with teeth count marked on it, I think. Maybe this one has teeth count on it. 30. But it would depend on what size tooth is driving it. I'm going to have to count these. Color tab instructions are on that card in the bag for the links. I'm not going to say that doesn't help because that helps. Okay, so this looks pretty big. Looks like a 24. So this looks like 2432. That's pretty simple math, right? 3 to 4? 2432? It's 3 to 4? And then we've got looks like a 20. So we got I gotta write this down. I don't have these kind of mental faculties. I'm still cloudy from Anime Expo. I'm not gonna lie. I go to bed hazy and I wake up hazy. I don't want to openly confess that I got overexerted going to an exposition. Here we are. I missed the beginning. Who makes the new rails? It came with hardcore links. Brazen? Is it Brazen? Did somebody say Brazen? I want a straight axle rig. Was so excited when I saw that VRD kit, but too much plastic for the price. In my mind, it's not the plastic. It's that instead of getting, I can do this. Oh, I don't. Oh, it's soldering iron still on. Okay, I can do this. Instead of getting what's in this in the kit, you get what's in this, and that's the whole reason of buying the carbon. So if the only drawback to you of the carbon is that it's on portals and you want the straight axles, my best advice is you can find somebody to trade you. The stance is looking like a $500 kit where you only get the axles and trans. So it was a 20 driving a 30. 24, 32. That's 2 to 3. That's 3 to 4. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this. This is too much math. Jay Leeson going to bed already. They partying too hardy over there. So somebody that is mentally capable right now, tell me the 24 tooth coming in from the front, all right, and that's driving this 32. Then that 32 is in turn turning this 20, and that 20 turns a 30. So what are we looking at for underdrive inside here? How much, maybe it was just written down somewhere and a stance person knows. How much underdrive is in the, what did they call this? The VFD spec? How much underdrive is in this? Because now I want to pull a rear portal box off and I want to see if it has the regular gears or the underdrive gears. Basically, here's what I'm trying to get at. I've been told now that the stance has 24% overdrive or 24% underdrive, whichever. So Last Creation says 6% in the box. So that means the rest of it has to come from here, right? Right? Is that right? It has to come from these guys? And well, I'm counting teeth for no reason. $19? Is that a 19 or a 20? But as a front axle ratio of 5.25 and a rear axle ratio of 6.25. So they get that by the portal gear, right? Is that we are correct? I can just hold it up to this one and then I'll know. So, I've counted so many gears in my day. It's exhausting how many gears I've had to count. All I want to know is, are the portal gears in a carbon different from the portal gears in a stance? Because if they have 18%, how are they getting the 18%? Is it just portal gears and the 6.5 in the gearbox? And then the carbon has the bigger in the gearbox. It has these, the 26 tooth OD down from the, what did I say? 24? So up from the 24? Basically, a 24 to 32 to 20 to 30 is like one. Oh, well, you've got, you have to remember, you come from the spur down the long boy right here, and it goes into this little wee guy, and that little wee guy drives this big old guy. So that is most of the reduction of the gearbox. And then it comes off of the shaft with this guy. Then the big guy is on the shaft that has this guy. And then he turns the rest of it. So this back part is really like transfer case. This is the actual gearbox. It's just that part in there. It's a 2-gear. We're not getting a whole lot, like you said, 1.25 to 1 reduction in the back of the box. Carbon has a 21% gearbox and 16% OD in the front axle. So, this is what infuriates me about the industry as a whole. Just give me a little chart and just tell me what gears are in what, please. Like, this is a stance, right? We've already established that. I'm going to put the gears, I want to put the nice gears inside the gearbox because they're nice. But I would also like to stay around this 20-ish percent. So, what gears are in the stance portals that are going to stop me from doing that? The front portal has OD. So you're telling me, if I'm understanding you correctly, I have to take these covers off anyway, it occurs to me. I should have just taken one of these covers off. So is that rear portal box the standard gearing? We might have to pirate from someone else. I'm trying to think. Who can I thief? Stance portal has no overdrive. Okay, then where is the, if the stance portal has no overdrive, then where's it getting the other 18%? Because there's only... No, it does not have OD on stance. Then how does it get 24%? Where's the other 18%? There's 6.5% in there because we've got 2030 and when I say 2432, so 2432 to the rear and 2030 to the front. So we have rear, we do indeed have an underdrive to the rear. Where's the other? My 6% stance is a 30 and a 33 in the back. That still doesn't get us there. An 833 is 10%, so we'd be at 16%. Where's the other 8%? If the stance, okay, Jimbo is now in all caps saying that the stance has 6%. I have been told by people repeatedly now that the stance has 24%. Stance says it has OD portal on the website. Okay. Which one? So yeah, it would have to be front. So it has to be front. I don't want to put this back together. Oh, in brochure. The front F10 portal has overdrive portal gears, while the rear F10 portal has the standard ratio gears. Combined with the VFD overdrive, the final overdrive percentage is 24%. Okay. Tried to do the math of the VRD carbon's OD. After my calculation, it's 16% in the portals and 18.7 in the transmission. I don't know how VAP came to 37%. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do is figure out how, with available parts, to get this thing's final into a reasonable area. I don't want the, what did they say they calculated? The 34.7 that they rounded up. I had always read 38 was the number that they say they land on. Okay, I'm pulling the front portal off, and I'm going to compare it to the one that I took. That's a different size gear. That's a different size gear. Is that... Can we see that those are two completely different sizes? So they run different portal gears, unsurprisingly, in the carbon and the stance. Okay, last creations. We're going to build something nice. So I have been provided with the lightweight transfer gear, case gear, which is the 26 tooth. So going from a 24 to a 26. So we should be going to the 18-ish % inside the gearbox. Then we still haven't arrived at what size, what's going on in the front axle and the rear axle. I have zero confidence in what gear is doing what. I want to be in this like 20 to 25% and don't know how to get there with the parts I have in front of me. I know that on a carbon, you just swap out the gears in the portal for, I had spare Mias gears, and I put spare Mias gears in there and dropped it down to that around that 20% area. If I just take these gears and put them in this gearbox, I still don't know what final torque split we're going to end up with. I have no idea. This should be like the 18, but then the stance has, where is it getting the 18? So does it just, it's using portal gears but of a different tooth count? Front axle ratio 525 to 1, rear axle ratio 625 to 1. Okay. As best as I can tell, this is the, well, this part I'm 100% certain on. The other part, everything else is a question mark now. All right. This is the outer portal housing with the gear on it from the stance that we've just disassembled right now. If I get two hands, we can focus. This is the portal gear that I just pulled out of the front portal. Unless I'm wrong, that's the exact same gear. Exact same tooth count and everything. So, I don't... It's more like 16% portal OD. But how? That's... I need a... It's the same gear. Right there. They would be different sizes, right? Even if it was just two teeth, they would be different sizes. That's the same gear. So we come back around. If a stance is 24%, how? Because I do have, this is, and you can, oh, I'm on the wrong camera. You can tell by the blue grease still on it. This is one of the gears that I removed from the V-Nix. Because I got the V-Nix is sitting at whatever I said in the thing, like that 20%-ish. This gear, here is the gear out of the front, and here is the gear out of the carbon. That's from the rear. So they're underdriving the rear on the carbon. Based on what I'm looking at right here, I don't need to check. Well, okay, we can do this. We can do this official. So here's the front axle housing. I'm sorry. Here's the rear axle housing with the front gear in it. The website says front F10 has overdrive gears. Absolutely doesn't. $1830 is stock portal gears in an F10 2028. All right, I might not be able to see two teeth. There's no way. That's the same. Okay. There's nothing else I can do. There's nothing else I can do except clean them up and count get my silver Sharpie out and count the thing. Well, the ring and pinion would give us 10%. They only come in increments of 10%. So none of the numbers that we're theoretically arriving at are increments of 10%. This is the same gear. This is the same gear. All right. I'm going to sit down here. And here's how I do it. Here's how I do it to make sure I've absolutely lost my mind. It is a descent into madness. We're going to go right there. We turn one tooth silver. One tooth silver away! And then we'll know that we're not counting the same tooth twice. All right. Now, sit along with me as I count gears. $30. That's 100% of 30. And we're supposed to be what? Stock is 30. Okay. Here's the other one. Here's the 30. That's a 30. $30. They're both 30s. I took one out of the rear. I took one out of the front. Did they update the stance to be 6%? I mean, to be 24%? And like older stance are 6? This, to quote the internet, this math ain't mathin'. Are we operating from an assumption that there's only 6.5% in here and there isn't? You know what I can do? I'm gonna find a Phoenix book. Now, we're to a point now where I'm hoping that all of the OD is in there. But it can't be 24, can it? All right. So what is in the back half of a VFD? A 32 and a 30 and a 20 and a 23. Maybe did I count that wrong? No, it was stamped on the gear. Wasn't it? Hold on. I didn't mark it with silver. Do that. Well, the Phoenix book has the gear counts from the Phoenix. And we know, in theory, that the Phoenix is 6.5% in low. 1. Yes, indeed. I was off by a tooth. That is a 23. So it is 23, 32, 20. Well, something should look very familiar here. So 23, 32, 20 in the middle, 30 down there. 23, 32, 20 in the middle, 30 over there. That's 6.5%. That's 6.5%. So that's a 30 and that's a 30, which means this stance has 6.5% underdrive. You know what? Jimbo, vindicated. There's no way to get to 24%. There's no way. Well, yeah, go to the instruction book for a different vehicle. But those gears, these gears right here. So, someone, Henry, as a guy had said, I caught a bit of a Vanquish live stream one time, and there was a gentleman who was absolutely demolishing it in the chat, and his screen name was Trash Boat, and he was saying things in the chat like, how did you make the boxes smart enough to assemble the kits themselves? When did the boxes become self-aware? And he was just going on and on like this, and it was absolutely delightful. Apparently the box that this stance came in was not intelligent enough to self-assemble, because that's a 30 and that's a 30. And you know what that makes me want to do more than anything? It makes me want to take the other knuckles off and make sure that all 4 of these are 30s. It would turn in a circle otherwise, wouldn't it? Is that kit VPS 10146? With this one? 10145. Ten 145. 10145. Oh, $32.99. That's a bargain. It'd be bad if they weren't all 30s. And now I kind of can't stop thinking about it. Is that a bearing shield? Did a bearing shield blow out of a bearing? If one side is wrong, there's a good... Yeah, that's a bearing shield that was wrapped around the axle. All right, I'm going to put this side back together. Yeah, that's a front. That's the front is the longer stub. Some things I can remember. Oh, I guess we can throw the front. We can throw the big knucks on right now. BFD 21% lightweight machine transfer case gear set. This set replaces the gears in the VFD transfer case, not VFD twin. Yeah, correct. So these should be the gears that are in the carbon. These should be the carbon gears. The one with too much grease. Yeah, there's you don't mean this one, do you? Ungreasy. I don't think I need to add any. There's so much grease in there that like solidly clicks into place. That's a lot of grease. And I'm a guy that likes a lot of grease. Yeah, that kind of fell in. And look, that's how much grease is in that front one. Wiggle. No wiggle. Like, it doesn't move at all. The 21% are 18.7. No matter where we end up, all right? No matter where we end up, I feel like no matter what, at the end of this, I'm going to put a little bit of the sweet justice in the back one here. I feel like the math ain't mathin'. This might be a weird one, but what's a good budget servo for a Rift? RC Guy, what is your budget? Doesn't make sense. It says 2028 at both ends and 830 ring and pinion. It doesn't have 2028 at all. I counted both of those With the silver Sharpie, they are 30s. I can just, if I'm just tap counting, I might be off by a tooth, but there's no way I missed it by 2 teeth twice. They are definitely both 30s. I will count. I will wipe the other gear off and count the gear that I removed from my VRD and see what those are. Oh, RC guy, halfway through your question. So you just need one. Whenever I think Rift, I think four-wheel steer. Flash Hobby 60 kg. You won't be disappointed. Can handle 4S direct. So you can run a 3S or 4S, depending on how you're running your Rift. More power than you would need, probably about $65. I forget sometimes that, to me, that's like the higher end of what I would want to spend. But to most people are like... So when I connived the neighbors and them all into getting crawlers, and I would tell them, oh, get this thing if it's not too expensive for you. I forgot that they came from... A couple of the gears are silent. Oh my God. I forgot that these guys came from like building Baja Rays and stuff, and all had like ProTech 370 black servos and stuff. And I'm out here recommending them to buy Fusion SEs and Flash Hobby $65 servos. And they're like, bro, what are you talking about? They're like, I'll just order that right now. Erwin back from a voluminous Italian dinner. Well, now I'm just jealous. Sun City, I wish you nothing but the best with your 70 kg 9i mod. Erwin's 9i mod did not, they're replacing it, but it died an untimely and unfashionable death. The stance is not 25% overdrive, it's 24% overpriced. Apparently, if this thing is 6.5, somebody needs to answer for that, right? Like, did you guys see the new censored Castle ESC motor that supposedly does it all? No, I have not. Unless it's the snake one. What is it? Aren't they all snakes? Is it the Cobra? The AM32 based one that's blowing servos up? They might have another one. I don't know. Has Castle snuck up and made an actual crawler related product? Hey. Gares is being taken out to a birthday dinner. Context unclear. It's either Gare's birthday or Gare's brother's birthday. Regardless, in the phrasing of my locality, Feliz cumpleaños. I tried to pronounce that as American as possible. My mother-in-law is Mexican, and I mean actual Mexican from Mexico. So she speaks to the Espanol, and when I get her real frustrated, she speaks rapid Spanish at me, but I can understand enough of it to feed it back at her. And I like to make fun of her pronunciations whenever possible. My birthday was Wednesday. Oh, so it's Gare's birthday. Well, congratulations on come on, time for a Mastodon song. Once more around the sun. You have made it once more around the sun. We'll bearing punch there. We'll bearing punch. Hey, Mr. Spain says Feliz cumpleaños as well. Isn't there another in Spanish? Some people traditionally, it's not cumpleaños. They say something else. They say feliz something else, and we've always heard it as cumpleaños. And when we sing the birthday song, okay, Mr. Spain, just write out the first line. If you sing the birthday song to somebody, what do you guys sing? I don't want to offer up the version that I've learned by marrying into it, but I want to know what a true Spaniard when you sing happy birthday to someone in Espanol, what are your words? How do I RC guy? RC guy, on any video, when you're on any page for a video, there should be a little button that says join right next to like the video title. And you push that button and it will take you there. To my knowledge. I'm just over here out of frame fighting this thing on here. Sometimes these things are a little fighty. It's the top shaft is not cooperating. Did I get it? I feel like I got it. No, I'm not even close. What is going on here? It's Feliz Cumpleaños. Yeah, we sing Felicidades a ti, Felicidades a ti. So, I know there's a couple versions. I cannot get this thing. What am I doing? This thing is not. Felicidades is more universal. The only Spanish I know is salsa con queso. Why is this not fitting? Why is this not fitting? I'm having a mental crisis here. The stance is giving me a mental crisis. Am I getting hung up on something? Yeah, what is going on? I have to log into my computer. Oh, on mobile? Oh, somebody had explained to me how to do it on mobile. Like you click on the like there's the like. Oh, wonder if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it because I'll be logged in. Okay, let me just go to. I'll go to YouTube. That isn't me. All right, so let me go to here. We'll turn the volume down, and then. Where does it go? There's a way. There's a way. Clip, save, report, download, remix, thanks, sure. Somebody told me how to do it, and I can't even find it now. Somebody told me how to do this. Unless the channel I picked doesn't have a join. I have to pick a channel that has a join. Yeah, I can't find it either. Just got a commercial on the computer, not mobile. First time. I didn't see it. Oh, I was watching The Harpist on Wednesday, and people were like, "I'm getting ads." Yeah, they just they did the quiet rollout, and now it's getting. Sometimes it gets you, sometimes it doesn't. Erwin just got here and got an ad. Like I say, they give me the opportunity to stop it if I see it. But most of the time, I'm trying to fumble this thing together, and this, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time. Well, the low bearing will not stay in here. I'm about ready to replace it. I get to right here, and this should just slide together, right? I feel resistance from the portal output up at the top. And then when I push to right about there, it just won't go any farther. It's like sticking out at like a 15-degree angle. I cannot get this thing to sit down. I feel like I'm doing something wrong, but there's nothing I can be doing wrong. Unless well, we figured that mystery out. There is indeed a 28. I mixed it up with the gear that I had removed from my carbon. So I pulled a 30 out of the carbon and was illuminated as to why it wouldn't fit, because it won't fit with that gear. It needs that gear. And now, what do y'all want to bet? This is just going to go together now. I was trying to cram in a 30 tooth. What did they say? It's already long gone. Whatever is supposed to. So this one, the carbon uses. Yeah, definitely user error. 100%. I set the gears next to each other to compare them, and I switched a carbon gear with a stance gear. 1830. So I was trying to fit 2030. So I am now taking the gears that were in the carbon and putting them in here. So this thing will have 1830 front and rear. That way, when we put the gears in the gearbox, it will just be the however many percent. It will be however many percent we agree is in the back of the VFD. Vanquish claims, what do they claim, 21? And math apparently over here is claiming 18.7. Well, okay. I don't know who to trust anymore either, because the gear that I removed from the Vanquish, from the carbon, to take the underdrive overdrive down was the 30. So is the standard gear the 2028, or is it the 1830? Which one is standard? Because, let's see if this is smaller. I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is. I gotta take a back off again. We were feeling confident right up until I took the other. Let me guess. I grabbed the 130. Yep. Okay. Pull that out of there. Put that in there. Take that, undo this. All right. All I want is 1830 at both ends. Jeez. I thought the other one was greasy. Nope, that's a 28. That's not it. So I should have a pile of 2028s now, because I should have contributed the 1830s. I feel like we're in a scene on Apollo. What gear ratio did you get the carbon down to? I don't know. I have no idea. I thought I knew, but now I'm going to have to pull covers off and check. No, I won't pull covers off. We'll just do tape. We'll just do tape on the axles and do a rotatey and see what we ended up with. I thought the other one was greasy. Good grief. They were paid by the pound, I guess. That's the output bearing. That means all that grease got pushed through that bearing. HVOT at 3 is I thought Europeans didn't drive anymore. Like, all y'all's all eco-conscious and like you can't drive a car into Paris anymore. And London has congestion charges so high that it'll cost you like $50 US just to drive to downtown London. I'm mocking mostly, but I honestly don't know. Like, this is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Surviving here without a car outside of a very select few hyper urban areas is not easy. The nearest mall is 7 miles from where I'm standing. Is 7 miles away. So, and it's, well, it's 83 in here, so it's probably 100 outside, 105. So if you want to walk 7 miles to the mall when it's 105. Well, y'all don't have sprawl, though. Really, not the way we do. In Spain, the problem are the drivers who don't know how to drive. Okay, now if you want to experience California, take that number of drivers and like drive it up to the highest number you can imagine. And that's California. And now half of them are in cars that sort of drive themselves. Yeah, Erwin's going to get back and, oh man, I'm going to start doing 2-a-days until Erwin gets back from vacation. Didn't he say he's done on like Erwin, you said like the 28th? Yeah, Anna can live in San Francisco without a car, but I did say a select few urban areas. New York City, you can live without a car. You can't live in LA without a car. You can't live in Southern California without a car. I say that when my old mechanic, the one that moved back to Ohio, my mechanic at the bike shop, he didn't have a car. But he did ride a bike everywhere. So he had about there's a 7 or 8 mile commute each way on a bike. Which, that's doable. Particularly if you're an everyday cyclist. Y'all was talking about something earlier I was watching on my TV and couldn't comment. Anybody have any idea what I was wanting to discuss? I do remember it was in 30 minutes or so in. We'll get to work on it. If anybody knows what the WV Redneck was looking to talk about, let him know, and we will get on it. Bonita Creek, self-driving our cars are scary because people will lose the ability to drive. You need to past tense that. People have lost the ability to drive. I have long said that the Prius helped begin that because it took so much out of their hands. And then we went from the Prius to the Tesla, and it really took it out of their hands. So, yeah, people don't drive. Okay, now, theoretically, we can do it like this. I can do it like this. I can ride my bike with no handlebars. We can do it like this. I will drop a pin back in this axle. We're going to go real low tech here. We're going to get I'm still trying to figure out what he wanted to talk about. Oh. Radar cruise control, Andy Yates, the thing my wife refuses to use. Oh, I love it. I love it. I truly do. Okay, I'm going to do a little low-cost discussion here. Okay, that's close enough. Okay. Now I'm just going to rotate the drive shaft and count how many times it takes to rotate the axle around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 1/4. Okay, so the front is 6 1/4-ish. And now, God willing, if we change the right parts, the rear is going to be the same. If you're listening for a desperate hopefulness in my voice, here it is. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost 6 exactly. What? Not 5 1/4. Okay, so I'm starting with that shaft pointing straight up, and it doesn't show at all. Dot. Okay, does that show up at all? Not really. All right, follow me here. So there's the top, right? It's kind of I was trying to kind of use the Vanquish logo. It's kind of pointing at it. So we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 1/4. 6 1/4. I think I have a video playing on my phone. I do. Okay. Thank God. So, what we've done here is a net sum positive, which is instead of 525, 625, we're 625, 625. If we can bring the overall drive ratio down, that's good, especially on a 2200. And then we're going to put nothing but overdrive in there. Underdrive, overdrive, whichever actually is. I'm not paying close enough attention. We're covering all the topics today. We're trying. Riding a motorcycle for a living, I see the lack of driving ability all day. People have lost the ability to focus in general. I think America never will, but America should. We should absolutely, 100%, no question, have a mandatory K-car program where when you come out of driver's, say you're Mr. Spain right now, but you're in America. You get your driver's license, you can only drive a K-car. 66 horsepower, manual transmission, nothing smart in it. I want to go to where they don't even get power windows and everything. Like you've got to do your time in your K car because I learned on a manual. Everybody I knew, everybody I went to high school with, all learned on manual gearboxes. Every single one of them, and that's gone. I think if I tried to teach one of my kids to learn to drive manual today, I don't know which would be a murder suicide after I lost my mind. I wouldn't be able to do it. Neither of my children have particularly taken to driving, and I understand why. I get it 100%. It comes down to this. Why would they? They have everything available all the time, instantly, right in front of their eyes. And see, Marco's buying a K car on purpose. Everybody in America wants that $10,000 Toyota pickup that they'll never sell in America, but we all want one. This part I might remember how to do-ish. Just grab right onto that grease. I haven't seen a plastic bearing retainer. Manual trans are fun. My Subaru is the first car without a manual. And I gotta say, that car went back and forth thrice, on thrice consecutive days to Anime Expo on one tank of gas. And if I'd had to do that in my Scion with a manual transmission, I'd probably still be incapacitated. I wish I could get to 10% of the places I needed on an e-bike. I don't hate on e-bikes at all. There's a lot of, shall we call them, hardcore cyclists that get real harumphy about e-bikes. Harumph. People ain't riding e-bikes for health. I mean, a little. They're riding e-bikes to get to places. We're just jealous because we pedaling. Should build a VR10 Pro. I suspect someone will. 10 Pro axles under a VRD. It'd be pretty good. It'd be. Here's my guesstimation. It'd be pretty good. I've had to do this before. Ooh, I have it all apart to put the stubby on. I almost forgot. I would have reassembled this on all the regular pieces. And I don't know if I mentioned this before. Oh, it has definitely been said in this very chat right here. It has definitely been said before that Vanquish is criminal for what they do in the price they charge for gears. And I'm not in disagreement, but if you're going to spend money on Vanquish gears, if you've got it, get the lightweight front gears. This gear is an absolute tank. This gear is like a stack of 50-cent pieces. It's heavy. The gear that replaces it is nothing. It's machined and drilled. This shaft and gear weigh half of what just this gear weighs, maybe a third. I think it's the biggest weight loss you can do inside the gearbox. Whee! Where'd I put the juice? Yeah, the Europeans, the Spanish and apparently the South Americans, like they stay up late and they sleep late. It's kind of the opposite of the normal series of affairs that happens here. I wouldn't be able to survive. I'd be eating dinner when they're eating lunch. And they'd be headed out to the club, and I'd already have gone to bed. Because I'm basically unconscious by about by 10 p.m. I'm asleep sitting up in my chair. There's nothing I can do about it. Oh crap! Four-wheel steer is junk unless it's just like front, not just three position. It has, yeah. I got it. It took me a second, not just like front. Yeah, you mean fully independent control. Yes, correct. I don't like mixing. I don't like it. And I started off on mixing, and it was by one of the kind-hearted people. They may be here today. Someone in the comments had said to me on a video, you really need to go to full control. And I was like, I'll try anything once. And you can't go back. You can't go back. You go to full control and that's it. I still almost messed it up. Remember, what are you guys doing? Okay, you're talking about dinner at 10, and now you're talking about carburetors. Did you all, the 84 of you just watch me put the wrong top shaft in here when the damn stubby kit's right here? I even said, oh, I can put this thing together all at once. Nobody tried to stop me. I mean, it's been established that I can't count on myself. I'm an unreliable witness. I mixed up the portal gears already. You don't think I'm going to install the wrong top shaft? Because I totally almost willed it. We're supposed to be watching. I would hope that at least one of you is watching. And being like, he's putting the wrong gears in. Luckily, we were one screw in. This is the easiest to correct mess up that I could have messed up. Nobody caught the 2028 thing either. I was just rambling away. Erwin doesn't know what I'm doing. That's fair. I mean, that's fair. I have no rebuttal for that. Because in the grand scheme of things, sir, that makes two of us. Is that crawler guy still talking? Oh, I see how it is. It's only a matter of time before chat gets real snippy. Snooty? Okay, now we're building the stubby. And I learned from the last time doing this, you need to put this part in pretty much immediately because the one bearing stops it stops that bottom shaft from falling out, and then the pin falls out. Because when that pin falls out, inevitably, you get to take it apart again. We're gonna have another pile of random gears. And I talk a lot of mess about the fact that they include sintered gears inside the stance box. Not because I think they will explode, but because, holy crap, look at that gear. I mean, I thought Traxxas made some hefty gears. But look at these things. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not even kidding you. If you want to know why I rail on and on endlessly about the sintered gears in here, those 3 gears weigh 75 grams. Just that big one weighs 44 grams. 44. Here's a callback. This weighs 444 grams. That one gear weighs a tenth of this whole radio. Just put a D battery in there. Well, hell, let's throw the rest in here. It's 105 grams for the 5 gears, 5 bottom gears. Oh, then we got the top one in the front. That gets us to 111. Am I missing one, or is that all of them? I feel like I'm missing one. No, we'll call that it. 100. Okay, it's actually crept up a little bit to 113. So, okay, the back gears are 70 grams. Okay, back gears are 70 grams. Here's the bag with all the machine gears. Oh, and the shafts. $38 grams. So these all have the shafts built in. So this is well less than half the weight. Well less. Yeah, depleted uranium. It's okay, Glenn, neither does he. I have no idea. I have no idea. There's little bits of shredded plastic bag everywhere. repurposed tank rounds. So input on replacing three-way switch with potentiometer. I know on the SLT3 it didn't work. I tried to replace the potentiometer on an RC4 and ruined it. So, I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy. I will ruin that. Only the finest pot metals for VP. I used to say, honestly, I guess that I had never seen or looked, seen and or looked at how big those, well, no. I've never taken a VFD spec apart. So I didn't know about the big chunkers over there. I had long said that about the Traxxas, right? Like, where are we going? So, like, here's a Traxxas gear out of a TRX4 gearbox, right? But they run like a huge 32 pitch tooth, and look, there's some lightning in it. They actually lightened it up a little. Oh, it's not even close. That's just a solid hank. I bet that'd fit right down a paintball gun barrel. Shoot a sabot round through a cedar fence. Monkey metal. It's kind of what we got going on there. Good old monkey metal. Okay, I gotta grab. This is very greasy. This is very greasy. They must get the blue grease in some tubs. Tubs. You pop these bearings out. Unsurprisingly, these sealed bearings are in excellent shape, having been immersed in a sea of blue grease. WV Rednecks heading out to play with little trucks and mud and stuff and things. I'm a little jealous. I got mine in this morning. When I get halfway through, you're contributing to my delinquency. Well, not so much anymore, because the thing that you were talking about that I thought I needed. Oh, now I remembered it. Damn it! So when I'm done with this, I'm supposed to sit down. I don't feel like a coffee drink today. It'll probably be a Thai iced tea today. I need to sit down and I need to edit. I need to edit Saturday and Sunday, which I filmed this morning, so that I can film Monday and Tuesday, hopefully tomorrow, so that I can take Sunday off. Because I took Wednesday off this week. Did not even come out into the shop, not even once. And the entire building filled with spiders. There were spiders everywhere. So, we will see how it goes. But I just remembered the dang Tyler Perry thing. So, it's going to be like the first thing I go and look up. I just... TIL. Tyler Perry likes airplanes. Did not know that before today. Okay, output shaft. I've only done this once, and somehow I'm doing it correctly. I have a fever, and the only prescription is a little more cowbell. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mocha chai mix is better than Thai iced tea. You shut your mouth. There's nothing better than the sweet, sweet orange tea that I never would have discovered without cycling. I mean, you don't just walk down the street one day and find Thai iced tea, or you don't around these parts. We did that. Me and the wife did this thing down in San Diego. San Diego natives will recognize it is called Bike the Coast, Taste the Coast, where you pay a fee and you go do a bike ride of a specific length, your choice. And then at the end of it, they give you these little coupons to buy food at these little food tents and trucks that are all around. And there was a place that had Thai food. And I was like, that sounds good. So I went over and I was getting some Thai food, which I'd never had before in my life. I was probably in my early 40s at this time. And the gentleman behind the counter goes, "Oh, would you like an iced tea?" And, you know, I just rode like 62 miles on a bicycle. I'm like, you know what? An iced tea sounds amazing. And then he hands me this orange thing with the condensed milk trickling down through it. And I'm like, what in the name of God is that, sir? And I swizzled it up and I drank it, and that was it. That was it. Thai iced tea all the way down. I'll probably go live around 11 or 12 tonight, but this won't be an RC live. It'll be a governmental overreach live dealing with federal government agencies unconstitutionally surveilling us. Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, add them in with China. Everybody, I mean, you want to talk about them lawfully surveilled. If you want to know how closely you're being watched, download a web browser called Opera and watch how many websites are like, oh, that thing doesn't work here. That browser's outdated. You're going to need to update that browser if you want to be able to come here, because that browser, you don't want to use that browser. Don't use that browser, bro. It's because Opera has all the stuff built into it where it doesn't do location data and it doesn't track and it doesn't do all that stuff. And companies, agencies, and websites, they don't like that. They want to cookie you and they want to follow you. And I don't want to be followed. Oh, one bearing. One bearing. Yep, I am using a hammer. Okay, I don't know what happened here, but it's stuck now. I can't do horchata. I don't know why. I think it's an acquired taste thing. I never acquired the taste for it. They need to reach us regarding our car's extended warranty. They get my blind buddy. They email my blind buddy about the car's extended warranty all the time. And he's like, I haven't had a car in 25 years. Okay, so I do not know what just happened here. There must have been a little piece of grit on the end of one. It's always, this is how I just end up covered in grease. There's always one little bit of grit, and then it won't slide together. This was going swimmingly, I might say. Now I'm covered, and now look, oh, we're assembled. And it's too late. I'm absolutely covered in CV joint grease. Clamp it together. Oh, look at that. Magical. Magical. We'll put these pieces back together. This is how I got shock oil all over my computer mouse. So at my wife's, where my wife works, they're issued iPhones as their like company phones. And those phones are so locked down. It's unbelievable. You can only open the apps that have been installed by IT. Like, the only web browser that works is Microsoft Edge or whatever, the Edge Mobile or something, and it will only go to certain websites. It's pretty impressive, I gotta say. Their home computers, their laptops are pretty much the same way. I didn't think that thing was ever going to bottom out. Oh, this was a stance. It is as rapidly as I can becoming a non-stance. It's turning into a brazen. For those who have joined late, these are skid forward carbon rails for the stance to turn it into a whole new thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a little bit of, there's a hint of stance over there. I think he should keep running. I think he should keep running this body, because then people will just think it's a stance. This whole time, I'm still trying to think. So it's 2028 and 1830. How is that 18%? No, I guess that's right. It doesn't feel right. I'm just disassembling and reassembling and disassembling and reassembling as I get the wrong parts. I have an excuse that I will fall back on, and no one can stop me, which is I can't even RTFM. I don't have one. JSFEA01 just asked an unanswerable question. Is Brazen or Zoku better? Don't know. Haven't even finished putting the gearbox together. Tonight was an extended math lesson. Not on purpose. I actively avoid mathematics. But I will say this. I don't think that they're directly comparable. The only thing you would be able to compare, sort of, would be the Zoku rails for the VRD. So the ZRD rails and this Brazen setup. Because, like, if we're looking at, like, Zoku Phoenix, that's an entire... That's a whole conversion. So that's a whole different thing. If we're just talking about rails, then we have something to look at. And Zoku changes the geometry a little by working the chuck towers. the relative elevation of the rails to the of the shock towers to the, and how the relative distance between the rail and the top of the shock tower, he basically squishes it down. Whereas this is actually skid forward. Skid forward a bit. It's not radically skid forward. Well, we're going to find out. I mean, my mullet is basically a ZRD. It's just straight front and portal rear. I did pull an unintentional switcheroo. And it worked out. Thankfully that switcheroo happened, because this had the 2028s in it, and I needed the 1830s because I want no underdrive overdrive in the axles. I only want it in the gearbox, because that will give us, depending on how your math goes, between 18.7 and 21%. I don't want the 38%. Because I think people saw it, and I didn't want to say anything because I don't want to weaken my own position of constantly yelling about stances. But I felt like the ratio that was in the stance, when the stance was doing its shenanigans, I found to be more usable than the 38 that was being run in the carbon, which is what made me take the portal gears out. I follow a streamer on Twitch named Apathy. This making learning stuff is BS. Making learning fun, yeah, no. Overrated. Overrated. And, this is definitely conditional, because you've got to be a baseball fan for this to apply. But if you're one of those Americans and you like it a baseball, Trevor Bauer is still doing the best content on the internet right now, if you're a baseball fan. If you don't watch baseball, I don't know how much it'll apply to you, but ignore the fact that he got railroaded out of Major League Baseball, and we find out that major sports, gasp, I'm shocked, really aren't that different than Hollywood with all the shenanigans that go on. But, I mean, the videos he's putting out, he's playing for Diablos Rojos, Mexico City. It's so good. It's so good. I honestly, I don't know if you need to be a baseball fan. It's just so good. They cut a little, I don't know. Like they folded it and then they cut the corner off. Maybe somebody forgot to put the screws in. I've been in that position before. I love not watching baseball or any other TV. I don't really watch baseball. I mean, I'm a lifelong Cubs fan, but Trevor Bauer content is, because it's, do we not all love behind the scenes? We're kind of behind the scenes right now. Do we not all love behind the scenes? He does breakdowns where he tells his, like, the thought process behind every pitch. Like that is a game of tactics. 100%. I always try to put this motor plate on backwards. I think I got it right this time. Seen two Cybertrucks. They are odd and larger than expected. I've seen two here where I live, and I don't live where Cybertrucks go, but here they are. Yes, they do look almost cartoonish when you see them in person. Oh, Ben Webby's asking if a fusion is going in. Nope, we're not fitting a fusion in there. No fusion, no fusion for that opening. I'm trying not to forget anything else. I don't remember if they give me replacement. This works out well. I had different plans for tomorrow morning. And now I have a definite plan for tomorrow morning, which is when we wrap this up, I'm going to come out here in the morning and just pick up where I left off. I'm going to be like, so when you see the video that has this in it, I'm going to be like, welcome back, everybody. And it's just going to look, we're going to start off just like this, just in the pit of this mess. Motor. Free YouTube and Prime are my only viewing options. I might go, oh yeah, I don't have like TV. No, Trevor Bauer is a baseball player and a YouTuber. He makes YouTube videos. Oh, I thought this was an S12. This is an S20. That's the goer. You always have to do the massage on the S20 because the wires, when they goop the wires in, it's really hard to get these to orient the way you want it to on a VFD. Because, again, I'm going to say wires a few more times. Because the wires, and then also, don't forget, the wires. Okay, the old motor plate was so thick, we can no longer use any of the hardware that used to be on the motor plate. Get some washers on here. Some real short little screws here. I don't even know if those are short enough. This Lighten motor plate's thin. Don't Hobbywing have a brushless for tiny cars already? I don't think so. I don't think they do. Hobbywing also needs a Forest Fusion. Yeah, they do. Even if it was higher KV. Even if they were like, this is for pre-runners, you know? Or how about a Basher Fusion? Why are we not seeing Basher 2-in-1s? Got it. Got it. Yeah, but Trevor Bauer's a YouTuber, so I watch it on YouTube. The only baseball I watch is also on YouTube. We cut the cord. We were cord cutters. We cut the cord decades ago. My kids don't even remember ever watching TV. We probably had TV when my kid... it would have to be over 10 years ago. It just got so expensive, and I threw my arms in the air and I said, I'm not paying this. Rawr. And I was like, and I'm never going to be that guy that has all the streaming services. Oh, no. Next thing you know, the wife wants to watch a show, and I say, well, what's it on? And she says, this. And we have that one, too. I remember when Netflix was $5.99. Would love a Basher that can still do some crawling. The closest that we get is, I mean, really, kind of a TRX-4, but, I mean, not. Going fast with live axles is hard. Hard. They don't want to do it. You know what I'm just remembering now? so many things. There is no way. Is loosened all the way? There is no way I can fit a 15 tooth with that 56. Unless the one, I'm looking at my big concave washer. Unless the concave washer is hitting the side of the motor plate, and that's what's stopping me. I think it was. I kind of don't like these lightened motor plates. Sure. Do we have a couple of them? Sure. Am I crazy about them? Not really. Also, if the 15 puts this motor plate all the way at the bottom, we're gonna have to get rid of that pinion anyway, because when they designed this little guy, when they designed that little guy, look at the kick in it. It has the tendency and ability to rub on outrunners real bad. So I will tend to go up a tooth or two. I mean, up vertically, down a tooth or two, so that we can run the motor up higher. Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know. I still don't think that 15 is going to fit. If it does, oh, just barely. No, I'm not living with that. It's getting a 2200 in it, which on 3S is going to be vibrant. Let's see if a 14 will fit. How is this not fitting anymore? Oh, never mind. So remember the wires? The wires are, you can see the angle that motor's kicked at. Will I even be able to tighten this down enough to flat those? Yeah. Outrunners like to hop up every once in a while and remind us that they're being repurposed. So we might, no. Like, come with me and you'll see that we're all the way at the bottom of the slots, and that 14, that's a 14. Just meshes. There's no way I'm getting a 15 back on there. But how? So we are indeed going to have to put a spacer. I'm almost certain. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's not great. That's not great. What do I have in the magical bin? What do I have? Nope. Ooh. Okay, I got a 48 and a 50 and another 48. 48 it is. Okay, calculator. 56 divided by 15. 3.7. 48 divided by 3.7 is a 13. Now I gotta find a 13 tooth pinion. That's a 12. And we geared down a little bit. No, we're just gonna go 14. We're gonna go 1448 because we went down from 525 to 625 all the way around. So we're geared down. So we could actually run 1548 and probably get rid of it, as we will remember. Going down a tooth of pinion is roughly the same as changing 3 teeth on the spur. So we're going to go 8 teeth on the spur which is not quite 3 teeth on the pinion. So yeah, it'd be 1513. It was like 12.9. I wish I still had a aluminum. You know what? I didn't look. I didn't look close enough. Where'd I put it? There it is. No. 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 See or no? No. I thought I might have had one homeless aluminum one of these, but I don't. I do not. Yeah, that's that math was easy though. That math I was kind of ready for. You know what I learned? Here's something that I learned later than I would have liked. So, on one of these little spur gear adapters, the plastic spur gear adapters are intended to have some little degree of universality to them. Universality? Universality. None of this sounds right to me anymore. That screw will not go. Okay. So you've got 6 holes in here, but 3 of the holes are 1 hole spacing and 3 of the holes are another hole spacing. So when you're trying to line black and black up together and put a gear on when it's installed, most of the time I'm putting the thing out of center. So I am going to try to get this thing to line up right there. Franco Tarantino taking his TRX4 to a skate park, as one should. As someone had said in a live stream before, you can break a TRX4. You just have to, like, try to jump it over a river. None of these holes are lining up. I am having to sack it all off in a bin and get the Pro out. The Pro got driven this morning. And this is just not going well here at all. I didn't think a spur change was going to be this tough. One of the guys that brings an element over here jumped it off the top of the ramp. Well, not jumped, just kind of free fell. And he had taken the brace out in the front in order to run servo and axle. And it bent the front end. The front end went whoop. Like it looked like one of those trucks you see driving down the freeway where if you look at it straight from the back, you can see all 4 tires. It was that bent. And he drove it like that for months. It was fine. It was just fine. Yeah. Remember how we were all the way up? I think we can move a little closer. We can move a little closer now. I think I'm running a 48 in the mullet. So this would be fitting. Yeah, that those motor wires, they are giving me absolute fits. Not know what is going on with this thing. It knows. That's all I can figure is it knows. It knows I've talked so much trash about the stance that this stance is like fight him. Fight him in the face. I miss seeing old pickups driving down the freeway sideways. They are definitely few and far between now, particularly in California, where, you know, if you see a car on the road and it's a 2018, that's an old one. Oh, Psycho Garage sent some stickers out. They will be stuck here on the somewhere here shortly. I mean, obviously after they arrive. Right there. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move. All right. 1448. My every build is just like this. And then the wires relaxed, and now the pinion's not touching. We just move along at our own rate of speed. Much like last week, where the temperature got particularly right about this time last time. We are now 85 degrees. Somebody find the I should have left the calculator open. Somebody find the calculator for 85 degrees and 62% relative humidity, and that will tell you what it is inside this building right now. It's starting to feel. I have a Costco watermelon inside. Everybody loves a Costco watermelon. I'm gonna have some watermelon. I now no longer have to worry about the motor plate interfering. The only thing I have to worry is that my brain is so addled at this point. I can't remember anything that I have done or haven't done. And I've lost that screw entirely. Nope. Found it. 90. It's 90 degrees in here. There's a fan blowing on me, and I kid you not, I can't even feel it. I can feel a slight hint that air is moving, but it is, we are achieving heat. Do you, oh, I had to translate that. Do you good salt on your water ball? Do you put salt on your watermelon? No! I just eat my watermelon. Watermelon. There we go. Look at little boy. Look at little boy. So, this is a stubby. So we've gotten basically, this is very, very remarkably similar to what is in the mullet. But boy howdy. At what cost? At what cost? It's gonna be a smooth one. It's gonna be a smooth one. Yeah, I'm embracing so heavily the notion of what this is gonna continue into. I'm at a pretty good spot right here. The gearbox was unquestionably the bulk of what I had to do. If not, I know a bunch of people talking about now salt on the watermelon. Oh, it makes it taste sweeter. One could argue it's sweet enough. I don't know. I think I have dwelling inside me, at least in some small capacity. My grandfather, who my grandmother used to tell a story. This is my maternal grandfather. That when my mother was very young, she put blue food coloring in his milk. He drank milk, glass of milk. No matter what he was eating, he drank a glass of milk with it. And he couldn't drink it. And the notion of salt on a watermelon, which may be particularly tasty to a lot of people, and they might love that behavior, it's the blue milk for me. I'm not a tahine person either. I know a lot of people that are dedicated tahine people. Oh, I didn't even look up. Now I look up, and Ty Joe, tahini is awesome on watermelon. Why do you have to ruin everything by putting tahini on it? My wife will kill the bowl of mixed fruit with the tahini on it. And I'm like, you know what's good? Fruit. I'm fine being plain. It's absolutely fine. Just watermelon makes my throat swell shut. That sucks. Grits. Watermelon and grits. I hope they mean tahini and grits. Because if it's watermelon and grits, that might be the dictionary definition of psychopathy. That's terrifying. Tartar sauce? What in the... Ben Webby wants to know what tahini is. It's like this spicy powder. There's a certain group of people that put it on like everything. Put it on absolutely everything. Someone will have like a big wedge of pineapple and they'll sprinkle tahini on it and then bite it and tahini on it and I don't get it. All I can taste in tahini is salt. It just tastes, it makes everything salty. Just grits. So you were just saying grits, just as a statement. I have heard about the watermelon and cheese thing. The watermelon and cheese thing. I don't know. I'm absolutely content with just good old watermelon. My wife informed me. She told me before I came out here. She was like, try to keep it to a minimum. She was like, how about 2 hours today? And I was like, 2 hours? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. And, you know, honestly, I'm going to sit down for a second. Because I'm still not a hundo. Guaranteed. I could, if not for my own body, I would just keep going. Just keep going. We're hanging out. We're talking about foodstuffs. And when I say we, I are very poorly doing math. Because I was promised there'd be no math and they lied to me. And here we are mathing again. But I think that I can get this together in like one installment and get this thing going. Theoretically. Minus the drive shafts. We'll see. Oh, I'm probably going to have to cut those drive shafts to fit anyway. I might just be able to get this thing going for a go. I might be able to get away with just lengthening, like making 2 more Vanquish drive shafts. I think I might have enough pieces. Did you try 12-volt Peltier cooling body for the workshop? I have not. Wouldn't that have to be enormous? This is a 6,500 cubic foot building. I think that thing would have to be... That's a big Peltier cooler. Don't they just work by touch? I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I can't even do math. You just saw me fail at math multiple times. But we got there. Theoretically. So now I'm going to amble and ramble. In case you haven't detected it, we're definitely in the Midwest. We're in the Midwest goodbye. We're partway through. I am absolutely ready to have a sit down. But there's that part of my brain that's like, just keep messing with toy cars. It's fun. And I'm like, well, you're right. You're right, it is good fun. But I need to edit. That's another part that's keeping me out here. I don't want to go edit. Just one above your head, cool air. That's the thing. I complain about the summer for the duration of the summer. But then what's going to happen is, much as summer started on one day, Peltier cooler on a max amp. Too cold. You can hang meat in here. I will complain about the summer for most of the duration of the summer. And then the next thing you know, summer just up and stops. And then all of a sudden it's cold. Not really. It's really only gross here for, like, it's not even 3 months out of the year. It is eminently tolerable. I'm just putting tools away now. Yes, the Midwest goodbye, the opposite of the Irish goodbye. I did an Irish goodbye once. You know, it's like salami for cats. Just a little bit, every once in a while, as a treat. So we did an Irish goodbye the one time. I'm not geared for it. I'm not built for it. But as if the blind benefactor was here, he would back me up on this. He would point this out. He has pointed out in the past that unless I'm doing this, I am not a talker. I'm not a talker. On days when I don't record, hell, days when I do record, I will record a video, and then that's it. I don't talk to anybody again unless I see one of my kids or I'm talking to my wife. I'm just not talking. I expend it all here. Phoenix servo turns right all by itself when going straight. Oh. It's not good. Could be something very simple. Could be grit got in the receiver and is bridging contacts. Could be the VT1 factory radio. Could be the servo. Could be the pot and the servo going. Could be a lot of things. It's not any one thing that you could just say, oh, that's absolutely this. This is the thing that makes that happen. Because there's a lot of things that make that happen. Am I supposed to buy another servo? I feel like I was supposed to order another servo and I forgot. Well, too late for those considerations. So we'll have a couple upcoming projects. As I said, I have recorded, but lazily not edited Saturday and Sunday. There are the cards. There are those cards. I will be pulling the card out of the final camera here momentarily. Because there's just a loyal couple of you here. Here, we'll do this. We'll do this right here. We'll do this. We'll go like this. You ready? Are you ready? Everybody's ready. Okay, everybody's ready. You see that right over there? What? Yeah. You'll find out. You'll see. We'll see what happened. Some things. Things have transpired. Something has occurred. I just dropped a pinion gear into a pile of foam. All right. Yeah, I do, honestly. I feel like I'm running out of my words for the day. I filmed for 3 hours this morning. 3 hours of setup, tear down, recording, everything. And then took about an hour 15, watched a video or two, came back out here. And that catches you up till right now. That is the spider. Hello, bud. Hello, bud. He's shiny. And I generally have a no shiny rule, but we'll let him wander around. So, I think we're prepared for. Oh, I gotta put Diablo away. I think we're. Oh my God, he's got so much brass. I think we're prepared for the future. I'll get some edits. Maybe I'll give myself a little treat, and I'll edit one today, and one tomorrow, and then not film on Sunday, but edit on Sunday. I genuinely try to make some small effort not to film and edit on the same days, except for Wheel and Wednesday, which I do all in one in one like 5-hour block. And because it gets very, very tiring. The editing is as tiring as anything else. So I'm so now looking forward to going inside and doing that. Woo. So I will see you one and all on the Discord and in the comments and in the videos coming up to the future. We got us our 368,000 frames. We dropped 160 because I remembered to restart the computer before we started streaming. I didn't hear people mentioning ads. I don't think I even once saw the thing come up. Do they only show ads if there's above a certain number of people? Questions. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out together. I'll get the non-used pieces thrown in a box. Like I'm telling you. When you see the episode up about the brazen, about this, it's going to open and the bench is going to look just like this. This is not lip service. I'm going to, I always forget it, so I'm going to put my phone in my pocket. I'm going to grab me bottle of water. I am going to get the memory cards. Yeah, bunch of no ads. So, who knows? And I'm going to turn off the lights and I'm going to go in the house. The cleanup that I did was to put the tools away because I try to be a little bit organized. I will see you again real soon. I am going to go make myself an iced tea. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do what you're doing right now, which is to sit down and watch some YouTube videos. I don't explicitly know what they are at this point, but I'll figure that out. I'm going to check out the Discord, see what people have posted up in there after I wash my disgusting, very stinky hands. And I will see you one and all again here real soon. I'm even going to remember to turn off. Let's see if I can line it up. Camera 2. Camera 1. Camera 2. Oh yeah, Anime Expo. Alphonse. Somebody had to notice Alphonse, right? Well, Alphonse Ehrlich, Alphonse Ehrlich. FMA. It's good stuff. All right. Gonna go watch Ghostbusters Afterlife and drink my Thai iced tea. Hey, it's not a bad plan. It's not a bad plan at all. Have a good weekend, everybody. Even Erwin, who's over there flexing on us because he's in Italy, and I'm sweating like a mule in the desert of Southern California. Some guys are lucky. Cheerio, all!